Harsin, see home losses are really rare around here, 2 in a row. Talking 1997 since that's happened. How do you explain what's happened with this team the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, we're certainly not trying to set a record by any means. Execution.
On defense, you guys got off to such a good start this year, and it was an experienced unit. I know that you guys have lost some bodies throughout the last couple of weeks, but it also seems like you guys maybe lost some confidence or some momentum on that side of the ball throughout the way as well.
No, that's not confidence. That's your opinion. We just haven't executed in certain situations, and we've lost a few players. But confidence, we don't talk about that.
A couple plays in that first quarter, they get down to the 1 yard line. Looks like you might have recovered fumbles a couple of times. Did they give you any explanation on why they didn't give you the ball back there?
One was forward progress. They said had been both actually in that situation there. Clearly, the one that the ball came out, I didn't see the forward progress, at least from the video that I see. I don't know what tape they have up there that they're looking at, but it's sure clear to me that it looked like he was still in moving. And the ball came out. But not a reviewable when they stop forward progress. And I didn't hear that in that situation. But either way, they didn't get the turnover.
There was that one, but then there was the one not long after that. It looked like, you were down at the 1 yard line when Air Force was kicking the field goal. Were you trying to call a timeout right there or get him to review it? Or?
Yeah, but it wasn't. I'm talking to the guy, and it's all happening fast. Forward progress is not going to be reviewable. It would have been a waste of a timeout there. So really, we're discussing it. I'm trying to get his attention and not to waste one in that situation there.
Defensively, you guys spent 3 weeks working against the option, and their receivers were wide open for the first 2.5 quarters or whatever. And what happened there, and how did you guys get it fixed to where they were well covered after that?
Chad, if I knew how they were wide open in the first half, we would have worked on that more. Comes down to doing your job in those situations there. I think the key ingredient in the second half, do your job. And we have defenders to cover the wide receivers. We didn't forget about them by any means. I know it looked like we did, but we didn't. And in the second half, we made a couple of changes. We did a better job that way. But you put yourself in a really bad situation when you've got a couple wide open, and that doesn't look good. That's hard when you have somebody that wide open down the field. It's very difficult to see some of those explosive plays that way. We did have another one. We tracked him down, but that one against a run team, they've thrown the ball more effectively. Everybody knew that. That wasn't something that anybody was surprised by in that situation. They did a good job. We just got to cover better.
I know that year to year every team is different and it consists of different players and all that, and guys respond to challenges differently, but are these guys responding to adversity the way that you hope they would, I guess?
I think behind those walls, they understand it. Have we produced? No. So when you have your backs against the wall, when we did, these last 2 games, we haven't won it. So no, that hasn't been where it needs to be. And we've obviously got to fix that before we go play again. San Jose State's not going to lay down. They got a good football team. We have to travel, and they're going to be expecting to win the game. We have to figure out a way to go in there and play better and do the things we've talked about the last 2 weeks and really throughout the whole season, but we got to do it consistently is what we have to do. So we have not, I think, I wouldn't say handled adversity, but we certainly haven't overcome what we need to yet to be successful.
It seems like in certain situations, too, that looking for playmakers is still kind of a rise. And Thomas Spurbeck in that third quarter was a guy that kind of stepped up after a couple drop balls. I believe it was that his touchdown was on 4th down, but needing a couple other guys to kind of make those plays?
Sure, it's not a one-man game. How about Jake Rowe on the 4th down catch? That was a spectacular catch. And how he came up with it, that was a guy making a play. When you get into games like this, you have to do that And when you're put in a position to do it, you got to find a way to make it happen. Thomas continues to be that guy and make plays for us. We need more guys to do that. We had some drop balls again tonight, which hurt us. It hurts momentum. In offensive football, you're creating momentum every single play. When there's a drop ball, that puts you back. You're expecting to make that play and continue the momentum and get yourself in better field position. And we made some plays tonight. We didn't do it consistently enough.
There was one time right before Thomas's touchdown. Did you guys send out some personnel there maybe though, looking for guys to respond?
I know we did. I don't know that particular situation. I know in the game we did. Yeah, in the game you got some guys that are playing, the whole time. You got to get some guys in there to make plays. I think Monster had a big catch there towards the end of the game, which he did a few games back, and he's a guy that can make plays for us. We had a couple drops in there too, but you got to spell those guys. If you're throwing the ball and you're getting in that situation where you have to do that, you want to have fresh guys out there, and you got to be able to spell them, and the other guys that come in got to be able to make those plays too.
The passing game tonight, obviously, same kind of defense you guys have been seeing a lot of, and just seemed like either, I don't know if Brett was off a little bit or if the receivers were just struggling to get open, but it just seemed like struggled to find that rhythm and consistency in the passing game. What you saw there?
Yeah, I think a little of both. It's really, you said the key word, the consistency in the pass game, and really to me it's a combination of, sometimes it's not always a great throw and you got to make the catch. Sometimes it's the guy's not getting wide open and the quarterback gives you a great ball, when it's tight coverage. And to me, it's truly just consistency that way, where both wide receiver, quarterback, we had some protection in there too. Now he was having to move, and they were going to bring pressure. We knew that. We felt like we had the concepts to beat that. We knew we had to squeeze it just a little bit, and so they had to move his feet some. And we got to be able to make some of those catches, make some of those throws. So it's more of just the consistency across the board of getting that done.
Obviously, the game turned a little bit on Ray Ford's play, the interception, the return, just kind of your perspective on that play and what that did for your sideline, for your team in that situation.
Yeah, it was a great play. I think my initial thought when he intercepted it was get down, because he was running back in the back of the end zone there, and then he took off and had a chance for an even bigger play and made it. There's a guy making a play. There's a guy putting the ball. He's got the ball in his hands. I'm going to make a play. I don't think that was a poor decision to do that. He obviously, I think, looking back in my mind, he knew he could get out and at least get some field position out of it, and he did that. Yeah, absolutely. You're trying to get momentum. He made the play. We had a few interceptions in there. That was a big one at that time. I don't know if we went out and scored on it or not. On that drive, we did. I think we went and scored. We took advantage of it, and that's really the key. And we put points on the board. We got a touchdown out of it. The one earlier that we had in the game, the fumble, need a touchdown out of that. You start putting those all together, that changes the game as well.
I think with this loss, you guys are out of contention for the division title and obviously the Mountain West Championship. You guys still have a game left in the regular season, obviously a bowl game. I mean, how do you get the guys going in terms of what do you tell them to plan for? How do you get them motivated now?
Well, I've never really been into that. What do you play? You play the game regardless. I believe we'll find out about this team, and I don't think that's ever, what are we playing for? You get a chance to play. You only get so many opportunities, and your career at some point is going to be done, probably a lot sooner than most want it. So to me, if we're convincing guys to have to play, that's a problem. And I haven't seen that yet. Be curious to see if that shows up this week. But if that's what guys really need, that championship or all the stuff that goes along with it, how about the opportunity to go out there and just compete for 3.5 hours and test yourself? That really is what it's about. So I can't answer that question yet. We'll find out. I'll let you know at the end of the San Jose State game what it is. If we do have guys like that, then they're not going to play. Really that simple. And we have a lot to play for. We have a game we need to go win. We still have 2 games left. We want to finish it the right way. We obviously don't like the taste of losing. So to me, that's That's the competitive nature you have to have. And if you don't, and that doesn't fire you up, then that's a problem.
You said on Monday that this team has been a little bit perplexing for you, and that last year you kind of were straightforward with them every week, and that's what they needed, and you kind of had to be different every week this year. Has that been a problem a little bit, that you haven't been able to kind of get a consistent feel for or vibe for what these guys need week to week?
Well, I think last year's team has nothing to do with this year's team. Last year we had some special players and we had a different year. That has nothing to do with this team. Every year is different. So the mentality, to me, it's the understanding of what you're really trying to go out and accomplish each and every time. And it is winning. That is something that we talk about. But it's competing. It's having that spirit. It's doing it the entire time. It's not getting tight. It's having fun. That's how you have to play the game. And, yeah, every week's a little bit different. I think every week last year, too, if I go back. I mean, there were some differences in there, too. But there might have been some different guys that, hey, this is how, it's straightforward. You're coming off coaching change, and this is what we're doing. Another year into it, you're dealing with a little bit different personalities as well. That's not negative by any means. I think everybody wants to look at that as, there's a problem that way. There's a problem in execution. There's a problem in, going out there and we're just doing our jobs is what it comes down to. There's a simple answer. It's on the tape. And that's really the key ingredient. If there was a chemistry or a culture problem, then that would be different. And so it's not about that. But it is about how we're attacking each opponent each week. We are playing teams. We came out there last year. Who knew what we were going to do? No, we're not sneaking up on anybody. And we just have to go out there and be more consistent from that standpoint. Every team we play, they're good players. They can make plays too, and they've made plays on us, and we've got to be able to do a better job.
Darian didn't play tonight, so kind of update on him. And then JT didn't play the first half, it looked like, and so what was the deal there?
Yeah, DT was out. JT's been banged up. He did everything to get himself out there to play this week, and he's been banged up for a few games. He's sore, and he wanted to play. We got a chance to practice a little bit on Thursday, so he'd been playing a lot of football, but hadn't got a whole bunch of reps this week. But he wanted to be out there, and as one of our seniors, no doubt, you want to get a guy like that in the football field. So, we have a few. I don't think like anybody else doesn't, but we have some guys banged up, and we got some guys that are sore that have to keep playing. I kind of think that's part of, college football at this time of year. But one of the keys, you do need to have a healthy team, and I've said this before, if your team's healthy and you can sustain that throughout the year, you have more opportunities. If you can start with the guys you started with for the most part, you're probably going to be, in a fairly good situation if you have a good team to start with. And, we've had some injuries, we've had to deal with them, but we also have guys that can step up and play, and we fully expect that, regardless of who it is, backups or not. When they come in, we expect to win with them. We'll find a way. We believe that, and we've got to go out and show it.
Did